I don't
I
know
have
what you
some
said.
cartoon background noise, but it's gonna be shutting down
Uh,
in a
don't,
sec.
don't, don't, don't worry about it. Unless there's a big problem, let's just continue on as if there's no reason for us not to. Okay? So we're just
No,
going to
I
continue on because there's no reason for us not to. Okay. How much do you still trust yourself to mm, to awaken and be responsible? Whatever that means, it's your own definition. What you decide responsible is, what you decide awakening is. But in other words, if you're at a state where you're sort of already at the achievement phase, hmm, you should acknowledge what that is, so you can be aware that you've achieved something that you didn't feel like you had before. And now in that achievement, you've got a time to reassess. You're at a new level of presence and consciousness and self-awareness, and so as the you that you are in this moment, how do you choose? Because it's really you that gets to make the choice. Because whatever it is you're pretending to be to yourself, then that's what you're doing, and that's what you pay attention to. Who are you being for yourself? Who are you being to you? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about yourself? And in a way that could possibly lead you to a magnificent outcome. Where do you believe yourself most in that? Where are you so good at being truthful that, things are just, the world is in a funner place when they're with you? But what about the rest of life, you know? What do we have to do to survive and prosper? Why not? Why not prosper? I mean, do things need to be so painful all the time? Do they? I mean, because my experience is that they are painful all the time. So, is there a benefit to that? For us to be in a seemingly constant sense of crisis in terms of, how the body is being made so uncomfortable that it can't relax and enjoy the moment? Hmm. It's a pretty basic thing, to just be present and enjoy the moment. The fact that you're not able to, or that I'm not able to, is cause to say, wow, it looks like we're really, really off base and far from the truth right now. So let's not worry so much about being right here when we're obviously so wrong. Let's just move towards the light, so to speak. move forward in freedom. And in a way that actually grants freedom to yourself and to others, so that, there's a natural harmony, between you and others. Hmm. It feels like that would be nice, why not that?
Yeah.
But if we're so far gone, if we're so far off base, if we're just so nuts, then what do we do? Are we that nuts that we've lost touch with what's real? Maybe we have. Maybe we are. The fact is, we really don't know. We're pretty well stuck in this mirror, in this reality. In this moment of now, we're kind of believing everything that's happening here. And it doesn't take much to experience it, The pain and suffering's there and easily available. And after a little while, you just sort of naturally know how it feels for most people to be here. I'm not saying that we should blame anyone or anything. So even though you don't want to blame anyone for anything, you certainly want to credit. Is that you?
Sarah wanted to see your video, sorry. Oh, and he's at the house. There he is, Sarah. Sorry, Sarah, about the noise.
He's all grown up. Well, I should stop the recording if we're going to do this. Right?
We're gonna stay muted.
Yeah, what is it that keeps me so far out of reality? So far away from actually knowing what's going on. So if the truth is that I don't actually have a clue of what's going on, how do I fix that? Because I've got a range of things that I like to experience, and I don't think I'm too interested in sabotaging myself anymore. I think it's time to set all aspects of ourselves free, It is what you do if you were in charge. And who says that you're not in charge? I think you're in charge. So what is it exactly that we want to create? And by we, I mean me. And by me, you mean you. What does each person want to create for themselves? Well, ladies, there's not a lot of blame that I have that I can put on others, but I can sure see that me paying attention right now is probably a good thing. Not getting lost in thoughts and ideas and stories and beliefs. Well, I've got a lot of energy that's releasing, not a lot really to say about it though. So I think I'm going to end the stream. Is there, with just again that these things vary. We experiment with different layers and levels of consciousness, and sometimes we move through them easily, and sometimes we get stuck and stay there for a while. And that's what this is. And that's what we do. Most of the time we're stuck.